This conference will now be recorded.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the July 2025 edition of the RMC Support Group with Chris C.J. Johnson Foundation. And we are so glad you're here. We have two new people with us tonight, and we are so excited about that. So, I am going to do something a little bit differently tonight. I'm going to ask where you are, what's your name, where you are, so where you live, where you get treated, like what hospital or what doctor, and when were you diagnosed? And I'll remind you of this, and I'll put it in the chat too. And if you need time tonight, so what that means is if you have some questions you want to ask, if you have some things you want to talk about, we are going to hold time for you. So George, I see you're first on my screen. Who are you? Where do you live? Where do you get treated? And do you need time tonight?
Yeah, my name is George Ballard. I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina. I get treated at UNC Cancer Center. Um, I was first diagnosed back in February. Actually, on my son's birthday is when I found out the news. So that was a rough time. I will have a couple questions later on.
Perfect.
That
Yes,
I've been eager to
absolutely.
ask. Because I've just now found from individual research, I've been able to find people individually, but this is my first time meeting a collective of people.
Absolutely. We will have time for you. And Brandon, I know you went off screen, so if you need me to come back to you, I'm happy to do so. Okay. Brandon, would you go ahead, name where you're from, where you get treated, and do you need any time tonight?
So my name is Brandon Hunter. I'm originally from Sumter, South Carolina. I'm military, so I moved around a lot. I got diagnosed when I was in El Paso, Texas, and I'm currently once I got diagnosed and everything, I was able to move to Houston, where I'm currently getting treated at MD Anderson by Dr. Masao. Currently, I was diagnosed. Well, everything started May of 2024. I'm active duty Army, so I was on the deployment when it all started. And then all of a sudden, we were taking the time to get everything looked at. But in September, I got hospitalized for right flank pain and got diagnosed probably a couple weeks later once they went in and did the biopsy. So um, that's about it, right?
And do you need time tonight?
For anything, if anybody have any questions, because I just got my
Well, we're gonna want an update.
yeah.
I'm
So
gonna put you down for time.
okay,
Perfect, because we're going to want an update. We
okay.
still cannot hear you, Carissa. I just don't know what is going on. I'm with you. I'm like, we want to hear you. Maybe you can call in because we do want to hear you. Neil, so name, where you're from, where you're treated, and do you need any time tonight?
Yes. So, how's it going, everyone? My name is Ty Neil Edwards. You can call me Ty for short, if that helps. I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and currently being treated in Raleigh, North Carolina. I originally found out that I went to hospital as well for right flank pain,
Hmm.
and originally when they told me I had a tumor, I was like, okay, I'm thinking nothing of it. But then once they put out the idea of RMC, I was like. And it's 100% like it's going to be like me. I'm not going to be like, pretending that it's not going to happen. And then about, I want to say July 2nd, they confirmed it. So, and then I'm being treated right now at UNC Health by Dr. McNamara.
Okay, perfect. Do you need any time tonight?
Yes, please.
Of course. Hey, David, I don't know if you can hear me. I know you had some trouble coming in and out.
Yeah, I had some trouble with my microphone. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
That's okay. Oh, we can hear you. We're good. Your name, where you're
Yeah, I
from.
had some
Perfect.
trouble with my microphone. I had to change the settings. It didn't work this time. But I have a poor network connection. So um, tell me if it's breaking up or
Oh, you're good.
if you
We
can
can
hear
hear you
me fine.
perfectly.
Oh, great.
Can you guys hear
So
me
my
now?
name is David. I'm from Yes, Carissa, we can hear you. No. My name is David, and I'm from the UK. My camera is off because it's almost 1 a.m. tomorrow, your time, and I'm going to go to bed like in a minute because I'm so tired. But I was diagnosed with RMC in 2021. I'm still an oncology patient in England, and I have my next scan, CT scan, next month on the 8th of August. And I'm sorry I didn't come to the last meeting. It was actually on my birthday when I was on holiday.
Happy belated birthday, man.
Thank you. Thanks, bro.
Yes, sir.
Look, with RMC, celebrating a birthday is a dang good reason to be out of this group. I'm just saying. Did you have fun?
I did, yes, very much so. Yeah, really good.
I'm very happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Do you need time or do you want to go to bed?
No, I don't need time. I'd love to stay longer. I've just seen Andre has joined. Hello, Andre. And welcome to new people. Great to see you, Carissa, Brendan, etc. But I'm gonna have to go because I'm shattered. I'm really tired. I'm really sorry.
No, of
I have
course.
work
Absolutely.
tomorrow.
Thanks for coming in
Yeah.
and saying hi, and we can love on you and tell you happy belated birthday. That's always so encouraging. I can at least say for myself, but everyone in here, like, it's always so encouraging to hear about birthdays. So thanks,
Thanks
David.
so much,
Appreciate
and
it.
have a good meeting, guys. And sorry I
Thank
have
you,
to
David.
Hi,
take
David.
No,
care.
Thank
no,
you.
no. You're taking care of
Nice to meet
yourself.
you.
Bye bye. Bye.
And Curtis, I know you're just listening. Curtis is a board member for the Chris C.J. Johnson Foundation, and Curtis is a phenomenal fundraiser and does a lot for the community. So thank you, Curtis. Curtis is listening in. Did you want to say anything else?
No, just welcome everyone, especially the new people, and we'll always praying for you all. So,
That's right.
Thank you. Thank you.
sure.
Daisy Reyes, hi. For everyone, I put in the chat, I'll put in the chat again. I am just asking for your name, where you're from, where you were treated, or if it's your loved one, where they were treated, and do you need any time tonight? If you are talking, I cannot hear you, friend. If you need to leave and come back, sometimes they'll fix it and we can come back to you. That is what we'll do. Hi. Oh, yes. Colombia, yes. Perfect. Absolutely. Thank you. Danielle, I know that you are a care partner, and would you go ahead? Do you need any time tonight?
Hello. Um, yes, I am caretaker. I'm mom of Ethan, my son, my 17-year-old son, and he was diagnosed with RMC May of last year. And he's currently being treated at Stanford in Northern California. And Dr. Masol is also guiding our oncologists. So they reach out to him for advice and next steps with his diagnosis and time. Sure.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Good to see you. I loved the graduation photos.
Thank you.
It's so wonderful. Ashley, how are you, friend?
Hello.
Hello.
Wow.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. Hey. Um, you wanted me to say my name and stuff?
Yeah, I'm asking name, where you're from, where you're treated, and do you need time tonight?
Um, so my name's Ashley and I'm treated at Emory in Georgia. Um, and no, I don't need time tonight.
Perfect. And then I see Evgeniy. Hello. I'm sure I butchered that. I apologize. Would you like to tell us your name, where you're from, where you're treated, and do you need any time tonight? Hi. And also, you're free to post in the chat if you would like, if that would make you feel more comfortable. You don't have to talk or do anything like that. I see you posted in the chat. So I'd like the other moderators to go ahead and introduce themselves. Carissa, would you start us off now that we can hear you?
Yay. Yes, I'm Carissa. I'm from New Jersey, very close to New York City. My late husband, Carlos, got diagnosed with renal medullary carcinoma, 6 months after we got married, and he passed away in 2020. He got some treatments in New York City and some at MD Anderson as well. So if anybody has questions on travel or just doing the commute, or feel free to ask.
Thank you, Carissa. And Andre.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Andre Sneed. From Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I live in right outside Atlanta, Georgia now. I was diagnosed with RMC back in 2019. 2020 is when I got my first clear scan. So, yeah, I've been cancer free ever since. Got treated at MD Anderson under the care of Dr. Masal. So yeah, I'm one of the moderators, and just here for each and every one of you. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out, contact me.
So I wanted to say thank you, Andre. I want to say really quick that Richie may pop in tonight. Richie has got a lot going on, but we are all here, and we're here to support you tonight. But if Richie pops in, we'll stop and talk to her because I know her time's a little bit limited. But George, let us start off with you. You had some questions. We might have some answers.
Yeah, I'm excited to meet everybody first and foremost. Like I said, I was first diagnosed in February. I didn't have any pain. I suffered from major weight loss and fatigue, and so they first, of course, probably like everybody else, thought it was just regular kidney cancer. So they took my kidney out right away, um, and I ended up suffering a stroke out of the surgery of that. But maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, I didn't even have time to recover from surgery. They started me on chemo right away. Um, the chemo, I'm on my sixth treatment. I just completed my sixth treatment last week. And I was handling it well. I had everything kind of pretty much cleared up. The chemo was working. But in this last scan, they noticed one lymph node in my abdomen area that's showing some activity. So they saying it may be changing up on me or getting a little resistant. So the main question I really had, because now they're going to start me on radiation as well. So I just want to know if anybody had went through that process of starting radiation after chemo started off working, and how was that as far as your body taking it and the reaction as well.
I can chime in, George.
Absolutely.
So I had several different rounds of chemo, similar to your situation. The chemo was working fine, and then the cancer became a little resistant in some areas, particularly my lymph nodes. So they switched me to another chemo. Then the same thing happened again, and then they switched me to another chemo, and it happened again. So eventually, I ended up doing radiation. I did 28 cycles of radiation, um, while also doing chemo every 3 weeks as well. To
Hmm.
me personally, the radiation was like the easiest part of the process. To me, is way easier than chemo. To me, it's kind of like getting a scan. pretty much. It was targeted radiation, and they had to target. I had some lymph nodes around the area where my kidney was removed, where they targeted, those lymph nodes. And after that chemo regimen and after that radiation is when I got my first clear scan. So that was, excellent news. But um, radiation definitely to me was the easiest part of the journey.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much the only question I had. I mean, I look forward to the radiation. Like I said, I've been blessed enough that it hasn't been much spreading at all outside that one lymph node from the beginning. So hopefully they'll be able to the radiation to help with that.
Where are you being treated at, George?
At UNC Cancer Center.
Okay. Are your oncologists in conjunction? Are they talking with Dr. Masal?
Yeah, with Dr. Tanier and Messiah, yeah. I get on Dr.
Okay.
Tanier nerves. I love him to death, man. He emails me, it don't matter 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. He a lifesaver to me, man.
Yep. And they work with Dr. Tang at MD Anderson. He does the radiation part of it. So they work closely with him. And we actually had Dr. Tang on one of our calls before. So it should be up on the YouTube.
I'm going to
channel.
try to find it, Andre, and put it in the chat.
Okay. And you can take a look at that, George, and kind of hear, Dr. Tang, somebody that specializes in to kind of talk a little bit more in depth about, the radiation part of it.
Okay, yeah, because I go to my radiation appointment for the first time tomorrow. So I definitely let them know that.
Okay, yeah, perfect.
I just wanted to add really quick that our son's kind of going through the same thing where the chemo has become resistant in some areas and the new tumorous areas have popped up in his chest. And so our local oncologist and radiation oncologist met with Dr. Masol and Dr. Tang, and they all had like a video chat and they came up with a plan to do targeted radiation. So he'll be doing chemo along with the targeted radiation starting next week.
What do you know what chemo regimen he's doing now?
He's currently on the panitumumab and gemcitabine and paclitaxel, the three combination together.
Okay.
And he's also had some targeted radiation in the past, targeted radiation on his spine, and that he's had really good results with, like completely eliminating the areas that showed cancer. So the targeted radiation seems to really be beneficial.
And how was the process for him? Because I know for me it was, pretty cut and dry, pretty quick. The process.
Pretty easy. Just laying down and just laying down while you can't feel anything while it's getting done. He did have a little bit of trouble after with the areas on his spine that was kind of near his esophagus. He had some esophagus pain after, just like trouble swallowing and eating because it was treated close to his esophagus. But other than that, everything was good.
Okay.
Anybody else have any experience with radiation or anything else we can offer, George? Carissa, did Carlos have any radiation?
Yeah, he had radiation. They didn't have it. They used it like more for palliative stuff.
Yeah.
It did help reduce. It did help reduce some of the nodules in his lungs before he started another clinical trial. So he had some experience with that, I guess. Yeah, and I think that they had him do the radiation, not do any treatment at that time, so it was just like the radiation. So I feel like it's like different now, like where they do treatments and the radiation now. But it's very quick, the treatments themselves, the radiation.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. George, do you have any other questions?
No, that's pretty much it for me. I appreciate it.
Wonderful. I'm glad we could help. Brandon, what about you? You need some time to give us an update on how your nephrectomy went.
See, that's what they call. I don't be pronouncing it correct. Nephrectomy.
Yes, a nephrectomy.
So I had it done June the 11th. I did about a 2-day hospital stay afterwards. And a week later, me and Dr. Masao talked, and they did the test on what they removed. And out of the 9 lymph nodes that they got, 7 of them did come back cancerous. But currently, what he think is he believed that Dr. Karam went in and removed everything from that right area. So I know my previous diagnosis was it did spread. It was in my right kidney, the lymph nodes, and my lung area and lymph nodes. So currently, if that's gone, then it should be the lungs and lymph nodes. But we have a PET scan coming up on the 23rd, and that's when I'm going to find out. We'll find out what else is going. What's the next process? Because he said we need to go through that, see what the next steps are that we need to take. But with the nephrectomy, it was different. It was different with the having to wrap up to stop the hernias and everything. My appetite completely changed after that. I think it's almost been a month, and I'm just getting my appetite back. It was ever since I had the surgery. I've been drinking protein shakes and stuff. I lost a lot of weight from that, so it's pretty good that I'm getting my appetite back. So
So that Jamaican food was probably a blessing.
because I just started eating like a couple days ago, like actually really eating because I would eat at sometimes and I would get nausea, and so I've been taking a lot of nausea medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Once I felt that I could eat, I went and got Jamaican, so it it really helped. It's
What
gonna
can't Jamaican food cure?
right, and the
You
spice,
know.
and I hated the spice, but I dealt with it because that's what I wanted.
So, is there anything you could share for people who are going to get a nephrectomy? Anything you wish you would have known? Because we were talking about that last time, people sharing their tips and tricks. Like, is there anything you wish you would have known that might help somebody else?
Um, you're gonna need some help. Yeah, so a lot of help, like around the around the clock, getting up out of bed. If I would have known about getting up out of the bed, that was one of the biggest things. The hospital bed, it was kind of easy because you had the rails to grab onto, and they showed you that. But when it comes to the home bed, it's a whole nother beast trying to get out of there. I spent like 20 minutes one day trying to get out of bed, trying to move correctly. But that was one thing. I wish I would have got something to hold on to on the side of the bed because you know how our beds don't have the railing, so I wish I had something with that.
I think
Is your
that's a
bed lower or higher?
Hmm?
Is your bed up higher or lower?
Uh, it's high.
Yeah, that bed's high.
It's. My wife says it's high.
Yeah.
So she's right.
Yeah.
It's gospel. Like if she's like it's higher, that's what it is.
Tall, and it's like past our waist, and we're 5'11", so that's a pretty tall bed. Like
Okay, if both of y'all are 5'11" and you're having some struggles, that is a tall bed.
yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
But I did lower. I knew it was going to be some issue. I lowered it before surgery. We were able to flip it over, lower it a little bit to get it right. So it was a lot higher probably then. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, everything else exactly how the doctor told me. some things were gonna be. So it was an experience. I can say that.
Well, thanks for sharing your experience. I'm so glad you're getting to eat and enjoy some food and
Moving on
um,
a little better.
yeah,
Yeah.
I got a quick question for Brandon, real
yeah.
quick. Brandon, have y'all discussed you, Dr. Messiah? Have y'all discussed like radiation or anything like that yet?
No, not yet. I think after this scan, we'll probably see what's going on. But
Okay.
we haven't talked about it yet. Yeah,
Okay.
because I think usually when it gets a little smaller, you probably get radiation will almost kind of be like an end thing, or is it something to catch it? I don't know.
Um, yeah, Dr. Tang, they want to do like radiation once they get the cancer kind of contained, you know what I'm
Hmm.
saying, somewhat.
Hmm.
So um, I'm pretty sure, once they look at your scan and stuff, they'll discuss that option with you.
Oh yeah, I have an update on the next meeting there because it's end of the
Okay.
month to find out. So, matter of fact, I'm gonna take that question to ask about it if you don't bring it up.
Yes,
Yep.
absolutely.
Yep.
Well, thank you for sharing, Brandon. And we're all just so stoked. We knew that you were. Oh, of course, Ashley, we'll come to you. We're so stoked that you came back with some good news and that you're sitting up and doing well.
Oh yeah.
And Brigitte and Latora, so glad to see you guys come in. We'll come to you in a bit. Tyneal, go ahead, my friends. Floor is yours.
Appreciate it. Hi, everyone. So I was pretty curious because I think throughout this entire process, the only thing I've been feeling lately is just the right flank pain. And I've been on a lot of medication so far, and none of them seem to work. Uh, and mostly in the past, medications are not necessarily super effective on me. Tylenol and ibuprofen was doing great, but they obviously can't be using those all the time. So they put me on tramadol, that didn't work. Methocarbamol didn't work. Oxycodone didn't work. Morphine's not working properly. Hydromorphine wasn't working. So trying all the pain meds and nothing seems to be working. So I was just wondering if anyone knows any pain managing.
Okay, first of all, do you know anything specific about your ethnicity? Like,
I said again?
do you know anything specific about your ethnicity or heritage, like any particular countries or regions?
Yes.
Okay, where is that if
Sorry.
you don't mind me asking?
No, my father's side is from Jamaica, but besides that, that's about it.
Okay, so normally when a patient or somebody is not responding to pain medicine, that is normally a genetic mutation, usually linked to ethnicity. What I would do if I were you, and you should have already been flagged for this, but unfortunately, and this is something we're still learning, especially for people of any form of African descent as well. If you are not responding to pain medicine, you should have been flagged by pain management, been flagged to being sent to pain management and gotten a DNA test and some tests on your liver enzymes. That means if you are not responding to any of those pain medicines, Tylenol, ibuprofen is one thing. If you're not responding to those higher level ones, there is something there's something going on. So there's something going on in the liver why it's not metabolizing that drug. And so what you need to do, and I'll post it in the chat, is there's some two specific tests you need to be asking for. You need to ask for referral to pain management. You need to ask for a referral to that to get those tests done, and then they can determine what drugs work on you based off of your own genetic makeup, that sort of things. They do find that people of different ethnic and racial backgrounds, especially those who are mixed race, might have different metabolisms. They metabolize drugs differently. And so this is a whole thing in pharmacology that we're still learning about. But yeah, normally if someone's going, hey, nothing is working for me, at that point, liver enzymes and DNA tests need to be done to figure out, hey, what is the patient not absorbing? What are they not metabolizing?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds good. And I think my last question. So I guess it's all new to because it kind of hit me out of nowhere. Because recently, I would say about a few weeks before I got the diagnosis, I was before I even figured out I had the tumor in my kidney, I was just fine. I was running a marathon, doing powerlifting tournaments, so it kind of just came out of nowhere. And I'm not like the best when it comes to like knowing about RMC. So as far as for like how I should like maybe tone down my exercises or how I should change, to what level do I need to decrease my working out? Like, I want to make sure that I'm not putting any further damage on my body.
I think it's very important for you to stay hydrated. I think that's like pretty key. Some connections they find is people who doing high intensity sports and not being properly hydrated could be a
Right.
reason that why RMC is caused. So I think it's like very important, like hydration. Um, you could be like, I would even look if you like with the exercising, maybe you might need to get extra fluids, like IV fluids. So I would talk to the doctors about that,
Hmm.
with your with your regimen of working out. So have you been working out as intense since you've been diagnosed, or has it been a lot less? Or are you trying to get back to it exactly?
I've seized the exercise to a certain degree because I didn't know necessarily if, that would like make things harder on my body. And I didn't want to like, diminish my chances for recovery. So I wanted to like wait till I got the proper information before I, resume it. And I did ask my doctor, can I resume lifting? Can I resume my running? And they said yes, but to the degree that I do it to, I don't know if I was like necessarily clear on that part.
Yeah, I think I'm trying to something with the kidney function too. You probably want them to look at that as well while you're exercising. Just like your creatinine levels as well. You probably want to
Yes.
like be careful with that. But yeah, I think but now like getting the IV fluids, I think they're a lot like easier to get as well. I know my sister, one of her friends, the nurse practitioner, that's like a business she has, just giving people like fluids, not even I don't know, some people just like having extra like IV fluids, so that could be like an option, I think, and like
Right.
making sure, keeping like hydrated.
Right. Okay. Copy.
Just a few things to add to that. So, because we have the sickle cell trait, so some of our red blood cells that carry oxygen um, to major organs in our body, some of those cells sickle. So, a couple things you want to avoid: high elevation areas, extreme heated environment. So, if you are going to work out, try to work out in a controlled environment. Um, and make sure you stay hydrated because I know I talked with Dr. Masal and I was in the Army, so I was deployed overseas before I got diagnosed with RMC, and it was a lot of CrossFit. It was a lot of CrossFit and extreme high temperatures. Even though I drank a lot of water, it still wasn't enough because of those different elements. So you just got to
Right.
be cognizant of that. Make sure you stay hydrated. If you're gonna work out, controlled environment, you know, don't try to work out in like high elevated areas and things like that because those can affect your body in a not so good way. So just be cognizant of those things.
Okay. Copy. Appreciate it.
Can I say something about what I do? So for me, working out, like the same thing like Andre said, I'm in the army also, and I was trained for the new army program health H2L program. I was one of the fitness instructors. So we did a lot of high intensity workouts, a lot. Like every morning it was weighted vests and it just was keep going. But since everything happened and everything, I know how to go low intensity and still at least keep some movement. What I do is I have a row machine. So I do light row in the house. I bring it in the house. So I'm in, like Andre said, air conditioned area instead of where I used to be at outside or in the garage. I, it's not really. It's and I go to and you want to do like to stay cool. Pool exercises, small laps or everything, and walking around. That's what I do when I can't get to the
Right.
pool. But other than that, it's usually walking around or try to do like little weights is what I do. Nothing too crazy or anything.
Okay. Understandable.
Because I had a whole fitness gym. And I was just sitting in the garage, squat rack and everything. So it's just sitting there for now. So, but I use the other stuff, just row machine, walking basically, keep my cardio. Because I was
Right.
issues before with breathing when all of this started. My breathing got a little horrible, and I thought it was that I needed more cardio, but then we found out it was PE. So, yeah.
All right. Appreciate it.
All
Can
right.
I just say it's very impressive that you're able to still work out with your flank pain? Because I'm over here like, oh, you're still working out. That's very impressive and like hats off to you because that it took me out. I'm looking like I'm looking right now. That's how I was looking at my flank pain, just miserable and just very cozy all the time. Not comfortable in any way. So I just hats off to you, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much. But oh, let's see. I guess one last question. I guess to caveat
Mhm.
on that. So, pretty much high elevation. Because being in the Navy, I'm not necessarily. Well, I'll say being in the Navy, and then two, being in this. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not used to the South. I'm used to Wisconsin, where it's like 20
Mhm.
degrees. So here it's kind of like 90 all the time, and that's if it's nice. So working out hard don't have to like necessarily stop that. It's just necessarily being more hydrated, making sure I try to minimize the other factors like elevation, stuff like that.
Yeah, I would make sure they're checking your levels so when you get checked just to see if anything's abnormal.
Okay, copy.
Awesome, Tyneel. Thanks for those great questions.
Oh, appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you everybody for the answers too. Appreciate it.
Of course, absolutely. And I wanted to, because Daisy wrote in the chat, and I'm going to translate it. So, Daisy is a caregiver from Bogotá, Colombia. Her daughter is 12 years old. Oh, I heard something. That was probably my echo. Her daughter's 12 years old and she was diagnosed with RMC in December of 2023. So Daisy did have a question tonight. She has undergone 28 chemotherapy sessions and they're trying to find out because in Colombia, she does have a mass on her liver that is not responding to chemotherapy and they're thinking about doing surgery on it. Does anybody have any experience? And I'll summarize and translate this for Daisy in the chat. Does anybody have an experience with a liver mass that did not respond to chemotherapy? No, okay. Is 28, I'm trying to also think, is 28 a lot of chemo? I was trying to think like what's the average chemo amount for RMC?
Yeah, that's a good question. I wanted to know too.
Yeah.
I mean that's a good amount of chemo. I mean I had 20 plus chemo treatments and like 6 immunotherapy treatments and 28 radiation treatments. So it's
Yeah.
kind of like right in that, I guess, that ballpark.
Okay, yeah. Because I just
I
want
just
to
know
make sure.
I just know certain chemos you can only have a certain amount of it, and
Right.
that's doxorubicin. So you can only have like 6 cycles of that.
Yeah, and you're done. Right.
Yeah. Everything else though, you can, continue to have
Yeah.
until as long as your body is responding, as long as the cancer is not becoming resistant to it, because if it's
Right.
becoming resistant, then it's no longer working.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, they say that they tried radiation on the liver yet?
No.
Okay.
Radiation is where I would go next, but
yeah, I wonder if that's an option, and I don't know how complicated though, like having the liver. I know you could survive with one, you could survive with one kidney.
Oh, you
liver,
can
I guess you could have
survive with a
choice.
sliver of liver. I mean, it rhymes, but you can,
Sliver of
because
liver.
liver does grow back to an extent.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I would then at that point, I guess likelihood of spreading was less likely having the radiation or taking it out,
Mm-hmm.
decreases the likelihood of spreading. So that's the question I would ask.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I will translate that for Daisy. I appreciate your feedback. Richie, I don't know if you can talk to us, but we love you and we're glad that you stopped by.
Hello, I just wanted to say hello. I just got home with Mama.
Oh, you're home?
Home.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm sure you're both very tired.
We are, at least I know I am. But yeah, we're here.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by and after everything. And anybody want to say anything else to Richie?
Hey, Miss Richie, you and your mother are always in my prayers.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Just wanted to stop in to say hello. We just got here. Transporter brought her in about an hour ago. So we're here.
I'm glad to hear you're both home.
Thank you. How's everybody doing?
Oh, go ahead.
I just said, how's everybody doing?
Great.
Doing great. Appreciate it.
And seeing Tennille. I hadn't met Tennille.
Well, Tennille's
today's
VIP.
my first.
This is your first meeting, Tennille? I'm sorry, I'm acting like Rick coming in at the end, right?
Yes, this is my first. I was actually introduced. So when I was talking with George the other day, he gave me the idea of the meeting, and I was more than happy to come and see it, and glad I was actually able to get the invite. So I appreciate it. And like I said, I'm thankful for everybody for the hostility because, like I said, it's really interesting just to seeing everybody else who go through this situation because seeing as it's so rare, it just feels like, wow, who else could even have this? And then, yeah.
I would love to get in contact with you and see what all we can do to support you on this journey.
Sure. Thank you very much. And I hope to do the same for all of you as well. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. We have a small group tonight. Where is everyone?
Probably partying.
And where is George Thrower? He's going to be in trouble.
I'm sure he is.
David did drop in at the beginning of the meeting, Miss Richie.
Who did, Dave? All right. Well, I just wanted to say hello. I miss you guys, and
we miss you too.
Seeing you, I see my buddy Curtis on there too. Curtis Treat.
Yes.
I haven't seen him in months.
I know. I haven't seen you at church in a while, and so I came on for sure tonight because I wasn't sure if you were going to be on. Now I can't substitute for you, but I figured it was good for at least a board member to be on. So.
They got the best one for sure.
I don't know about that.
All right, you guys, I'm gonna check out. I'm tired, but I just wanted to say hello and that I love you guys.
Thank you,
Yep.
Ms. Richie. We love
Good
you
night.
too.
Love you
Thank you
too,
for
Miss Ricky.
popping in.
Be
All right,
safe. Get some rest.
all right, get to Neil's contact information for me, okay?
We will.
Okay, have a good night.
Thanks, you too,
Right,
Richie.
Richie.
You mama take
Two.
care.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, Danielle. And also, who was the cutie with you?
The one that was with me?
Yes.
My son, my youngest, my
Oh.
4-year-old, being a little bugaboo. Just wanted to share on Ethan's progress. We went from like, very high news received that his newest treatment was, decreasing everything in his body and things were starting to disappear. And then he graduated from high school and we were on a high, feeling great. And then he had scans again beginning of June, which showed that he had those new areas that I was telling you about in his lungs. And so just the roller coaster of ups and downs is really tough. Just really going through, yes, everything's working. That's great. It's amazing. And then, oh, shoot, now what are we going to do? What are the next steps? So it's really scary. Very thankful that we have Dr. Masal on our team to talk to our local oncologist because he's the expert and he really has dealt with this over everybody else. And he's able to guide them and tell us what to do next. Also considering our son is turning 18 in August, so that opens up a whole different area where he can qualify for the clinical trials that Dr. Masol has, because at 17 he couldn't qualify for them. So was just one of my questions was, is anybody currently doing any of the clinical trials that Dr. Masol offers?
Anybody?
Sorry about that. Yes. So my doctor actually is working with, I believe, MD Anderson as well, and we're going to be doing pretty much the trial that they recommend. And they said that their first cycle of chemotherapy will be pretty much every 3 weeks with a PET scan, and we'll be starting on carboplatin and Taxol. And they said apparently that was like one of the first go-tos for clinical trials over there.
Anybody else? Okay. Was that your only question, Danielle?
Yeah, that's pretty much my only question. Thank you.
Thank you. And if you haven't checked out the graduation photos, you've got to go to the Christy J. Johnson Foundation Facebook page and look at them. They're fantastic. You'll love them.
I wanted to say a few words
Okay.
today, if you don't mind. I know it's scary when the doctor says that the cancer has become resistant. I heard those words several times, and I still came out on the other side of it. So just stay encouraged, stay positive, and your doctor's working with Dr. Masal. He always is looking for that next treatment, that next plan. You know what I'm saying? In order to make sure that that cancer, is eradicated. So, yeah, just stay encouraged. I heard the cancer has become resistant. I heard it 3 times on 3 separate occasions, 3 different chemo treatments. So, I know it's tough to hear that when you hear after a certain amount of rounds that hey the chemo is working, the treatment is working and stuff, but yeah, stay encouraged, try to stay positive, keep pushing forward, Dr. Masal is the expert on this, and he's gonna, guide, your son's doctors the best way you know how, and yeah, he's gonna come out on the other end. So stay encouraged.
Absolutely.
Survivors like you give us hope. Thank you, Andre.
Sir.
Absolutely. Thank you, Danielle. Ashley, my friend, you get the floor.
Hey guys. So, first and foremost, I just wanted to say my birthday's tomorrow. And secondly, I wanted to say I'm extremely blessed to be here celebrating. This year was a very dark beginning, but it's coming to a brighter side of things. Um, I wanted to see if anyone was familiar with the process of when your white blood cell counts drop like extremely low, and they have to give you that basic like a booster shot to help it stay afloat. Um, I've had two of those, and honestly, those are worse than chemo for me.
Yeah, I
Um,
just have one too.
yeah, it's like it shocks you, boom, and then it's like mine I have to take home with me, and it dispenses within me within 24 hours. Um, but after that, like the body pains is totally unexpected. Like I would expect chemo to make me feel like this, not something that's supposed to help build up my white blood cells. So um I just wanted to drop that in. That's something new about the journey I did not know. Um and I truly or rather chemo over that any day because the body pains is literally it can be from shoulders to the tip of your toes, and it can like keep you down even if you're motivated to get up. So just a warning out there, you have something maybe not so fun to look forward to. I haven't found anything that helps me with it aside from taking a simple Claritin advised by the doctors. Take it for 3 days after your shot is like um, dispensed into your whatever, and you should be feeling better. But it's tough, guys. I think the chemo got one up on that one. I thought chemo was the worst part of the journey, but it's the white blood cells.
Yeah,
So
it
if
is.
you can keep your white cells up, that's my advice. Keep it up. I mean, do whatever you need. Some more research. I don't have any tips. I wish I had tips, but for future reference, if you haven't come across that crossroad. And that's all I wanted to say tonight.
Thank you, Ashley. So, how many of you guys have done Neulasta? Okay.
I know Carlos had that as well.
Mhm.
Like the Claritin worked for him pretty good. I know that pain was.
I remember him talking about the Claritin. Him and Claritin were good friends.
Yeah, that's the least thing I would have thought that would have worked. But Claritin is definitely a
Yeah.
huge aid in the process.
Alexa, is that something too? Because you were talking before about metabolisms and maybe like some pains. Is that something else a doctor can look to see if something else would be more effective than
You mean
Claritin? Or?
with the Neulasta shot? No. Trying to trigger white blood cell formation out of your bones is, I think, gonna probably hurt no matter what. Unfortunately, until science advances.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've had a couple of people who have done that. So, Rick, what do you want to say?
No, I was going to say Claritin, but Ashley said that. I was just wondering if Danielle had found, first of all, if she had any problem with her Neulasta and if she'd found anything that worked better than Claritin.
Oh, it's for my son. My son has to get that shot every 3 weeks after his third session, and he hates it as well. He does not look forward to getting that shot, and no, he puts him out for 1 or 2 days. He's just laying in bed. I haven't found anything that helps.
Alexa, what is the dose sensitivity with Claritin? Do you know? I mean, and is there a range? Can you take more?
I remember Carlos in our support group saying that his doctor told him he could just pop a couple. Like he could just do like 3 or 4. And I was like, "Are you sure?" And he said, "Yeah." Like he always went like Carissa's mom because he's like, "Yeah." So I'm not sure. There's really, as far as I know, no standardized dose. Some people I've known in my groups have taken 1 or 2. Some people have taken 3, 4.
Of Claritins?
Yeah.
Oh, on the box, mine says 1. If I could pop more,
Mm.
I would, but them instructions be kind of tricky.
I
I be like,
know. Exactly.
Yeah, but Ashley, I think what we're saying is go back to your doc and ask them how many I know what it says on the box, but ask them how many you can take because you may be able to take more.
Because we asked this in pancreatic group because this is a huge complaint of theirs, and Lori asked someone from John Hopkins, and they said they don't have a standardized dose.
Yeah.
So
it's worth going back to them and saying, how many can I take and how often, and finding out what the maximum dose is.
Mm-hmm.
Because it may be more than what they're saying on the bottle. And that would be our advice, in advocating for yourself to do that. And it may be different. Did you say, do they put the pump on your arm so that it pumps in automatically?
Actually, I get mine in my stomach. They said somewhere where the most fat is, and that's where it's at right now. And they inject it like the day before it dispenses, like 24 hours exactly.
Yeah. So there is another. So they can do it like that. I think with a depot, there's another way they can do it where they send you home with a mechanical gizmo on your arm. It might be that works better for you, and you can talk to them. Do you know what I'm talking about, Alexa?
Yeah, she's got the sub-Q attached.
Oh,
she's got that.
That's the one I use.
Oh, that is what you use. They
That
just
is what
put it.
she
They
uses.
just put it on
her stomach.
On your stomach, as opposed to okay.
And for a lot of women, they tend to do stomach.
I mean, they started using that pump probably. I'm guessing from memory, maybe 10 years ago is when we first started to see it, and before that, they would just give you a shot.
Yeah.
At the time that you left the hospital.
Yeah.
Supposedly, this equipment that you have disperses it more gently into your bloodstream.
Yeah. But even then, it still sucks since, unfortunately, that's what Ashley has. And we've seen that in a lot of other patients.
Like 0 out of 10 recommend.
Yeah.
0 out of 10. I wish it was something that when you keep going for treatments, they're monitoring your blood levels and stuff, right? So I hate that they wait till it gets to so low to start on something like this to try to bring it back up versus like keeping it in a healthy area, if that makes sense. Like
well,
keeping
they
it in a
have
good
to wait till it gets to a certain level to use the shot.
Oh, for safety reasons or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they can't just use it when you're a healthy level to keep you up. They have to wait till it gets to a certain level, and then they can give you the shot.
Okay, because I was really upset about that, but now it makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, so cancer's real fun, you know. It just
Super.
has all these fun little side quests you get to go on. Yep. Tiny's like, yep, all these fun little side quests. Well, thank you, Ashley.
Thank you.
Brigitte and Latora and Daniel. And Daniel, we have someone else from Colombia on this call too tonight. It's very exciting. Very exciting. I know you guys said hi, but you came in a little bit later. So Brigitte or Latora, do you need any time tonight?
No, I have been with the CJ Foundation since I think January for my husband who was diagnosed with RMC back in
Mm-hmm.
October. Well, he
Mm-hmm.
was misdiagnosed and then diagnosed with RMC in January.
Mm-hmm.
But we did get some good news from Dr. Masal. He did get a PET scan in June and we got results last Tuesday with a clear scan. So we're happy
Awesome.
with that news. Yes. So we'll take it and Dr. Massel just said he wants them to get scanned 2 months instead of 3 months, just because of how RMC is and aggressive it is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we're praying for everybody on here, and we're with you. And any questions you guys have, send me a message. It's been a rough journey for us. After one thing after another with my husband, it was diagnosed with cancer, then he had a stroke, and then he just thing after thing with him. But we've been able to go through it and overcome it, and um, we're in the end, it was good results. So yeah.
Yeah. So how are you feeling about that?
I'll take the good news right now because just I'm scared to know that RMC is aggressive and it will come back. That's how I'm looking at it. And to ask his doctor over here, like, hey, he gets care over here in California at the City of Hope in Doherty. And I asked his doctor over there, like, he got good scans, what are his chances of it coming back? And she's like, I can't answer that, this is my one-off. Like, I've never had a patient with RMC over here. And so it's like, okay, well, talk to Dr. Massal, and Dr. Massal's like, we just want him to be healthy if it does come back. He has the neuropathy in his hands and feet that he says he feels like it's getting worse rather than better. So Dr. Massal wants him to work on that. So if RMC does come back, he's strong enough.
Mm-hmm.
And he did 6
And
sites.
is some of that due to the stroke as well?
No, they're saying it's due to the chemo.
So it's just the chemo. None of the neuropathy or nerve damage was related any bit to the stroke.
I mean, we asked, and they said after the stroke, he didn't really have he only had it in the left arm.
Mm-hmm.
And then after a while, it went to the right arm, and now it's in both of his feet.
Okay.
So he wanted me to start him on B complex.
And that's why Rick has his hand raised, because I know what he's going to tell you.
Oh, yes.
I wasn't actually, but yes, it does help. But I'll come to that in a minute. First question is who's your main doc? Is it Tanya Dorf? I think we might have discussed this before.
Yes, Tanya Dorf.
Okay, so be sure to tell Dr. Tanya that you're attending an AnCan group. She was supposed to tell you to come here because I told her we have an RMC group and she must have forgotten. So I'll send her a reminder that we're helping you. Now, she's great. I shouldn't say that. I should ask you how you find her. How do you find Dr. Dorf?
I had called Doctor, I just called City of Hope when Xavier was getting treated at the local hospital over here, and then they got cyber attacked, so we had to start treatment for him right away. So I called City of Hope, and they gave me an appointment with Dr. Dorf.
Yeah.
And I actually told Dr. Dorf about Dr. Masal because she had no clue about him and the RMC or the CJ Foundation. I think everything I tell her or I hear from, Richie or when I'm able to get on these calls, like I do go to Dr. Dorf and
we need to involve her.
Yeah.
I've told her because I've told her we have an RMC group if she has any RMC patients, but she's probably forgotten. And I've also mentioned Dr. Masoul to her as well. She knows her stuff. But the other
Yeah,
thing
she's a
is,
really great doctor. Nothing bad.
no,
I have to say about her.
and she's compassionate too. What she may not have done, and you can ask her to do it, or you can do it yourself, is you need to get Xavier over to the palliative care symptom management group at City of Hope.
Okay.
Because they're going to have a lot of tricks up their sleeve on how to deal with the neuropathy and any other side effects that he's left with from the cancer. I mean, I would say everybody in this group, if you are dealing with RMC, you should have a palliative care doc on your team. Palliative care is not, let me stress that, not end of life. It is how to manage the symptoms that arise from your treatment. So even with Ashley, if Ashley's getting a lot of pain from her Neulaster, you can be talking to a palliative care doc about what to do for that pain, not just your oncologist. Problem is, a lot of the oncologists don't refer to symptom management because they feel that they're losing control of their patient that way, and that's not in the best interest of the patient. So you have to go out and you have to search. Now, we know that City of Hope does have a pretty good palliative care group, and I'm going to look in a second for you, see if I can give you a name, because I know we've referred. There's a I don't know if she's still there. There's an Indian lady who's really great, East Indian lady who we've got good reports on. But get yourself over to that palliative care group that, as soon as you can, Bridget, and start talking to them on what you can do for Xavier to help him. What Alexa was thinking about is that I use B6 on a daily basis. I take it every day. I could take more than I take, and I don't have a lot of problem in the summer, but I do have problem when the weather gets colder here in the winter. And B6 seems to work pretty well. It's benign. You get it at the drugstore, Walmart or CVS or what have you. You should let Dr. Dorf know you're taking the B6. She won't have, I doubt very, very much she's going to have any problem, but we always say, if you take supplements, please let your doc know what supplements you're taking. But you could start with that right away and see if that helps Xavier. I mean, it's really, I know a bunch of you have had it, and I'm pretty fortunate that it isn't that bad. But when it comes, it's nasty, and there's nothing you can do to stop the pain. It's like people are sticking needles into you, and especially when it comes in the middle of the night, which it can do. So those are my 2 cents. But please say hello to Dorf from us. I am making a note to send so that I will write to her tomorrow, because she's always very nice about getting back to me. And I will remind her about our RMC group. So, they just don't see a lot. And I know they don't see it.
Yeah, they don't see. I mean, I think, Xavier was one of their, I want to say, first cases over there, because they called me to reach out to him, to see if he could do the, join the research, program over there because of the type of cancer he has and how rare it is. But he did complete 6 cycles of chemo with cisplatin and gemcitabine, and his body reacted just fine. Just all the side effects that came with it, 4 hospital visits along with it. But, in the end, we got what we wanted. So,
I mean, the platinum element is especially bad for the neuropathy.
Right.
But try the B6 and definitely reach out. And Alexa will keep going here. And in the meantime, keep an eye on the chat window. And let me see if I can find my COH palliative care name, what COH
Mhm.
palliative care names we have.
Thank you.
So
What's
B6 and palliative care.
Yes, and we'll post those in the chat.
Okay, because mine's got pretty bad that they referred me with I have a cane now because it gets real bad on my left leg. It's almost like my sciatica is acting up also with it.
Where are you being treated, Brandon?
MD Anderson.
So again, they have a good palliative care group. You've got to get, and Alexa probably knows more about that than not.
I don't.
Or you don't. There's a Russian lady. There's at least one Russian lady there. I've heard her speak. She's pretty good. But you know, I wish, and maybe we can talk to Dr. Masoul about being more aggressive in tying in the palliative care for all the patients there. That, Alexa, that's something we should be talking about with Richie. But they have a good. Let me dip into my. Funnily enough, just today, no, yesterday, on LinkedIn, a palliative care doc from Yale Smilo. Yale is in New Haven. It's another very good NCCN hospital, and she reached out and she wants to work with us. The big problem is finding these docs, and it's especially difficult if you're not at a center of excellence. It's really, really hard because the centers of excellence mostly all have palliative care, or some of them call them symptom management, some of them call them they have a bunch of euphemisms for them because everybody thinks palliative care is end of life, and it isn't. So
Yeah, I think isn't that called something different at MD Anderson? I know like Carlos definitely went over there.
Oh
And they
no,
were
there's
pretty good.
palliative care, and then there's the complementary medicine, the massages, the acupuncture, the drums.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, he did both. He did both of those. I think Dr. Masal did refer him to that. Both of those. I think he's pretty good at referring.
You know, some of it, Brandon, may be if you're not, you as the patient have to communicate it to Dr. Masal. Say, Dr. Masal, you know, I need help with some of these symptoms, because Dr. Masal is a great doc. We all know that. We all love him. But he doesn't have that expertise in how to manage them, how to manage the symptoms. And he's using knowledge that he might have picked up 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 4 years ago. He can't keep up with how best to manage neuropathy, how best to manage nerve pain. And that's the specialty, that's the palliative specialty. So their job is to keep up on the latest on that. So please, all of you, if you've got issues, go to your docs and say, help, can you help me? Can I get a palliative care doc on my team? Plus, they also will help you with other stuff like the complementary stuff we just talked about, and also with the psychological stuff and mental health care.
And Rick, it's also important that you advocate for yourself too and share that you're having these symptoms so you can get the referrals to these providers.
So
yeah, and with the palliative care at MD Anderson too, they do the psychological there too. So they have a they speak to you, they do counseling like along with that. I don't know. I guess I'm the one who was always bringing up the complaints and stuff, because maybe Carlos would say something and then I had a list and I would be like da 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 da, and he wouldn't bring them up. So I understand. Maybe it might be helpful just having like notes. You know, maybe it could get overwhelming, like in the appointments. But if you write somewhere, like having notes and just bringing the questions that might, not bothering you right at that moment. Maybe, it's been like a couple of weeks or so. I think it's helpful to write it down so you could bring it up during your next appointment.
The other thing I was going to say to Bridget is that, first of all, I found out, I do have a link for all of the palliative group, and the doctor that somehow or other I made a note of, I don't know how I know her, but maybe I heard her speak, is Dr. Banerjee, and I think she may be in
You saw Dr. Banerjee speak.
What What, Alexa?
You saw her speak.
I saw her speak. Okay, and she was great. And I don't think she's in Duarte. I think she's in somewhere further west, so she may be even more convenient for you.
Okay. Is she at a City of Hope though?
Yes, but she's
Okay,
not. I don't
maybe the
think she's in
Irvine.
Duarte. Say again?
I know Irvine.
No, she's not in Irvine. I want to say she's like somewhere. I want to say somewhere like Riverside, but I'm not. I'm really not sure. No, that would even be further for you. I think she's. I don't know.
Yeah.
You'll click. I'll click on her and
Okay.
I'll tell you.
Yeah. Or if you send the name, I can also do my research in Google too.
Okay. So
Thank you.
I've put her link in for you. I've put my link in for you, and I don't know where she is, but that's the other thing that City of Hope does have. Where are you located, Bridget?
I'm in Whittier, LA, basically.
Oh, you're in Whittier.
Yeah.
So yeah, so for you, Irvine or Duarte is like 6 of one and a half a dozen of the other.
Yeah.
But anyway, you've got the two links in there, and you can follow up. Now let me see what I can find for Brandon for MD Anderson Palliative, if I've got anything there in my box of tricks.
So while you're doing that, we'll go to Latora.
Can
With
we
her,
before we do that, can we just talk to Danielle, because she says that she had some issues around palliative. Danielle, please speak up, because this is a really important conversation that we probably don't have. Tell everybody what you
Hi.
put in the chat.
Yeah, I just put thank you for bringing this up, Rick, because my son's doctor, at his last visit when we were going over how, his scans were showing more growth and everything, she had brought up, oh, maybe you might want to talk to the palliative care team about, they're here to help with many things, but I always just assumed palliative care was like end of life stuff. So I was like thinking, no, I don't want to talk to that team. But I didn't know all the other things that the team entailed.
Yeah. So the worst thing about palliative care is that it's misnamed. it's like a stone around its neck, because the palliative care docs are really wonderful people, and they're really caring, and they're really passionate, but everybody thinks it's end of life, but it isn't. I've actually talked to BJ Miller about, can we make a campaign to rename palliative care. I don't know if any of you know who BJ Miller is, but he's on our advisory board. He's the most amazing palliative care doc you could imagine. He's a triple amputee himself, and he was at UCSF. That's where I met him originally. He has an incredible TED talk. Miss Alexa's going to post that in the window, because I can see it in her eyes. She's just about to do that. You should listen to BJ's TED talk. And when he was at UCSF, the guys that used to go to see him, and mostly I was doing prostate cancer, they loved him. He was such an immense help to them as their disease advanced. So I'm really glad we've cleared that up for you, Danielle, that no, it's really about symptom management and quality of life. I think I suggested to him a few months ago we should call palliative care quality of life, call them quality of life docs. That's really how to think of them. And yes, Alexa, put it in the I'll put a thing that's the BJ TED talk.
yes.
Watch that, Danielle, and it'll be like a big tonic.
And he's on Netflix's Endgame. Great program. Wonderful program.
Okay.
All right, so Latora, what about you? Did you have any questions, any time you need tonight? Anything you want to share?
No, I didn't have any questions, guys. I'm just listening in.
Wonderful. Hi, Daniel. It's so good to see. Oh, he left. I wanted to read what Daniel wrote. He said, "Have a great night. I just came to say hello, and Nico is okay. I know you have a problem with the river in Texas, and many children died. All the best, each one of you. Remember, if one of you come to Colombia, please contact us in advance." Nico did not have a palliative care doctor, but lots of morphine for the pain. Please continue to stay in touch. Pleasure to see you again.
Well, it's good news that Nico's doing good.
It is. It's wonderful news. So I wanted to ask everybody, I know we've had a lot of great things we've talked about tonight. I've gone through the whole list of everyone who's needed time. Is there anything that we talked about or we didn't talk about, or when we were talking, you're like, oh, that makes me want to ask this question, or any burning questions that you want to ask before we close out for tonight?
I want to ask Ashley, any plans for your birthday tomorrow? Or what are you doing for your birthday?
So this weekend I pretty much was celebrated by my friends. They had got me a Airbnb and surprised me with a sunflower filled situation. All my girls in one place. It was just a really good time. Um, and they took me to a nice little Hispanic brunch place, had real good food. Tomorrow I am getting a massage to calm down this little white blood cell situation. And just relaxing. Just glad to be here.
Awesome. That sounds like an awesome birthday. And yeah,
Thank
get to
you.
relax. I feel like massages are always, I like getting massages on my birthday too. Very relaxing.
Yeah, like that's like the best time to get it. I done did my tags and everything for the first time ahead of time, so I feel like a nice grown adult, taking care of business, not rushing on the day of and all that stuff. So I can get to relax this year.
So, Carissa, I think you should sing happy birthday to Ashley.
What? Would you
All
sing
right.
that for me?
Yes. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Ashley. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Happy
That
birthday,
was
Ashley.
beautiful.
Hey,
Happy
Thank
birthday.
you.
so Brandon, I put the list of all of the palliative care docs at MD Anderson in there. I think Kevin Madden might be somebody that we've had. Alexa may recognize some of those MDA docs, or Carissa. So, but there's a whole list there, and you can sort of look through them. There was the woman that I was thinking of, the Russian lady that I was thinking of. There is a Russian lady, but I don't see her there anymore. She might have moved on. She was sort of stocky and she had lots of red hair. That's how I remember her. I wanted to look at the list for City of Hope as well. Let me just go back to that, see if there are any other names I recognize there.
Yeah, I know Carlos saw Dr. Barrera. He might have seen Dr. Reddy as well. I know that they
Yeah,
didn't
a
specifically
lot
always have them.
of the
Yeah,
AYA saw Dr.
yeah,
Barrera.
Barrera. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, and
so
he seemed he was great. I don't think they always put you with the same person.
right.
And yeah, I think looking at they call it supportive care here instead of like
Yeah,
palliative care
yeah,
here.
yeah. I mean, they always have alternative names as well. And Bridget, I think, yeah, Stephanie Mooney is somebody that I've seen or listened to. She's really at City of Hope. She seems to be really good. I know I gave you Banerjee, but I think I would say Stephanie Mooney. She's on that list. Serene Buga, he's Romanian, so I don't know. I'm always a little skeptical about the Romanian docs. I have a history. I think Alexa's smiling behind that hand. But yeah, just go through and look, and if somebody if you find anybody who trained, if you find look for where they trained, and if they trained at either UCSF or Memorial Sloan Kettering, that is a huge recommendation. I have a feeling. Let me look. I got a feeling that Stephanie Mooney. I think I saw. Where did she train? I want to say I think she trained at no, residency, internship. No. I don't know why she sticks in my mind, but anyway. But take a look through all of them, and if you do find somebody who trained at UCSF or Memorial Sloan Kettering and with their palliative care, grab them, because they will be very good, because that's
Will
where the
do.
best has been.
Got it.
Okay,
Thank you. Thank you for that information.
it's a pleasure.
All right, everybody. So our next meeting is going to be August 12th. Gosh, does anyone feel like the year's just flying? Yeah. Well, we will see you soon. And guys, thanks so much for sharing. Tyneal.
Oh,
And
Tanya. Oh,
go ahead.
oh, I threw my number in the chat. Could you message me?
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna text you right now. I tried to do it earlier, but it closed out this app, and I want to get like kicked
Oh,
out.
yeah. Appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.